Hello everyone, and welcome to the Utilization Program training that is being recorded on June 24th of 2016. So just a quick introduction and contact information. My name is Tara Thalmeyer, and I'm the Data Manager for the Behavioral Health Systems of Baltimore. If you have any questions in the future, please contact IT support at bhsbaltimore.org, and our main office number is 410-637-1900. Also, when emailing IT support, please include your program name in the subject line. Again, IT support at bhsbaltimore.org, and include your program name in the subject line. So the agenda for today's training is viewing the site, the username that you are assigned, changing your password, adding a client, adding an admission date, discharging the client, and reviewing the funding sources. So first thing that we're going to do is go to the bhsbaltimore.org site. So again, it's www.bhsbaltimore.org. So you're just going to click on that. It should redirect me to the site, or type that into your browser. So you're going to go to this tab right here called For Providers, and then you're going to go to Database Login and Resources. So again, this tab here, For Providers, Database Login and Resources. So then you're going to scroll down and go to the Utilization Program. That is going to take us somewhere else to this non-training site. This is the live site. So I'm going to exit out of that because we are only in training mode at the time. So I need to have this site, which looks exactly the same. So you have already been given your username and password, temporary password. So for training purposes, I'm going to enter in a fictitious person and her password. So it's Wonder Woman at a fictitious agency. Great. So you should see the monitoring utilization site for fiscal year 17. The agency is also fictitious. It's called the Baltimore Superheroes. You should also see adding clients, client search, administration and discharge of records, retrieving information, changing password, resources, and counselors. So the first thing we're going to do, since you were given a temporary password, is changing your password. So you should have your login name already coming up here. In my case, it's Wonder Woman. In your case, it would be the first letter of your first name and then your last name generally. So you are going to type in the password that was given to you, and then you're going to create a new password. The requirements for this password are going to be at least 8 letters, 3 numbers, a capital letter, and no special characters. So please remember to save your passwords, because we do not have access into looking at this new password right here. So please make sure you're saving your passwords. Great, so I have successfully modified changing my password. So we're going to go back to the home page. I usually click this icon right here. So first thing we're going to do after that would be to add a client. So we're going to go here. Great, so again, since this is a fictitious agency, you're going to see Baltimore Superheroes under the agency name, and then you're going to see all of these fake consumers right here with obvious fake names. So in order to add the new client, we're going to click right here at the top under Add New Client. Great. So in some cases, other people have multiple agencies in multiple locations, although just for training purposes, I do not have anything that drops down to show other locations. It's just this one location. So that's the only thing I can click on. So I'm going to click Save. Great. So I'm going to add a client that's completely fake. And I'm going to make up this number. So completely fake Social Security number and person. The SMART ID would be coming from SMART, so please include that and make sure it does not have any dashes. And it sometimes has SAM in front of it. And then you also have a generated SAMIS number, so that should be unique, and that should already generate itself within this program. The ASO ID could have an M in front of it, sometimes it may not. Oops, that's good. Again, I just made all of these numbers up at the time, just for training purposes. So again, the SAMIS number should be completely unique and pop up on its own, and the SMART one should come from SMART. And the ASO one should come from, at this point, it's Beacon Health Options. And sometimes it has an M in front of it. And that should also be generated within that program. I'm also going to enter the client's date of birth. So you need to have 2 characters for the month that are numeric, 2 characters for the day that are numeric, and 4 for the year. So that's going to be 04, let's say 01, 2010, let's say, for that. The ethnicity, either Hispanic, non-Hispanic, or unknown, so you need to pick one. And then I will pick Asian for the race. Again, you have multiple choices: white, black, or African American, Asian, Alaskan Native, American Indian, other than Alaskan Native, Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander, or other. So please pick one of each. Race and ethnicity, they are not the same. And then go to gender. So you have male or female. I'm going to pick male for Daffy Duck. And any other comment that you would like at this time. If you click delete, then it hides the responses from the utilization program. However, on our end, they are not completely gone. So again, unless you do not want this person, you would click delete, but at this time we're just going to click save. Oh, I am so sorry. I'm going to change the date of birth. I'm sorry, my training purposes have been really bad. So 1978, that sounds great. Okay, so Daffy Duck is now our new consumer at the Baltimore Superheroes. You should see him right here. Great. So as you can see, the agency name is Baltimore Superheroes. There's no case assigned at the time. The last name is Duck. The first name is Daffy. And then there's the date of birth. The SAMIS number, it is not deleted. And there isn't an admission or discharge record at this time. And there is no funding sources at this time. So we need to go ahead and add that. So we're going to go to add right here for the admit and discharge record. Great, and again, we can only use this agency name for this training purpose. Great, so you should see the agency number, the client first name and last name, and the location, and the funding source. We need to change to ASO 278. And it's my understanding that we'll have fee for service for mainly all of fiscal year 17. So please make sure you're entering fee for service. Okay, so I'm going to just pretend that the admission date was this year, 04/01/2016. I'm going to pretend that was recently, just for this training purpose. There is no discharge date at this time, and again, with the admission date, it follows the same form as the date of birth, that you need 2 characters for the month, 2 characters for the year, and 2 characters for the day, and 4 characters for the year. So please make sure that's filled in correctly. So the population will differ between the agencies. However, this one has access to adult, transgender, men, women, and women and children. So for this population, I'm just going to click adult for this purpose. Level of care, again, it could differ between your agencies, but again, just for Baltimore Superheroes, we only have 3.1. So go ahead and click that. The counselor that will be assigned, again, these are fictitious. I'm going to have Princess Fiona for the counselor. And clicking a referral source, there's multiple. Please go through them carefully and make sure you have one selected. For my case, I'm just going to have other community referral. And then there's a discharge reason. We do not need this at this time because we are not discharging this client. If this consumer is coming from criminal justice, you will need to click this right here. Again, with the same deleting concept, if you click delete, the person will be deleted, however, it's still in UP. Okay, great. So we're just going to go ahead and click save. Great. So now, Daffy Duck was admitted to the Baltimore Superheroes Agency on 4/1/2016, and there is a current funding source of ASO 278. Great. Okay, so what we need to do now is just go home really quickly. And I'm going to show you how to use this client search right here because we're also going to change the funding source. So client search. Okay, so a really good way to search for the client is with the SAMIS number. I do not remember mine at this time, but that's the best way to search for your client. So instead, I'm just going to use characters for the first and last name. And I do recommend that you only use 2 or 3 first characters of the first and last name. So for instance, with Daffy Duck, I'm going to just type Daff, D-U-C, as the last name. This will be more inclusive in your search. And it's a small agency, so of course we have the right person the first time. So Daffy Duck has been searched and found nicely. So we're going to go to edit for admit and discharge a record. Actually, I'm sorry. We're going to go to funding source right here. Okay, so you should see that this is the correct funding source at this time. So at this point, we want to change the funding source. So we're going to add a new funding source at the top right here. So we're going to change it to the ASO 19, and that'll begin on 6/01/2016. And that is fee for service. So we just changed the funding source for this person. Great, so you can see that the begin date for the last one was 4/1 to 5/31/2016, and we changed to ASO 19 on 6/1/2016. So great, that looks very nice. So we're just going to go home, and then we are going to discharge Daffy Duck. So let's go to client search for that again. And again, just searching with a few characters, finding him again. We're going to go to edit for admit and discharge a record. So we already have the admission date, but we do not have a discharge date. So I'm going to put in today's date, which is 6/24/2016, population, adult, and everything else should be the same. So, although I need a discharge reason at this point. So I'm just going to pick completed treatment and referred. Great, and then just click save. Perfect. So now we have the admission date and a discharge date for Daffy Duck, and a different funding source from the beginning. So great, we're just going to go home. So now we're going to go to counselors, and we're going to create a new counselor that just started at my agency, at the Baltimore Superhero Agency. So we're going to, I'm sorry, I did that very fast. We're going to go to counselors, which is right here on the bottom. And then we're going to add a new counselor, which is at the top right here. Okay, and only for this agency and not other locations. Counselor code, I'm not too sure, but please enter your counselor code and for this specific agency. For the first name, I'm just choosing Pirate, and last name is Hook, and then clicking Save. Great, so now that we have Pirate Hook as a new person at our agency, we're going to click Home. Great, so now we're going to search for a client. Because we're going to change the counselor that's assigned to this person. So Sylvester Stallone is in our agency. This person was already discharged, but I'm just going to act like they weren't really quickly just for the example. So although this person was discharged, I'd like to change their counselor. So I'm going to change it from Porky Pig right here to Pirate Hook. Great, and then just click Save. Great, so now Sylvester Stallone has a different counselor. Very nice. So we're just going to click Home. Okay, so I think that's everything that we need for today for the Baltimore Superhero Agency, showing you how to change your password, how to add a client, how to search for a client, how to admit and discharge a client, and changing a counselor and adding a counselor. So that is really great, and I'm glad that we got through everything today. If you ever need any help with anything, please feel free to email us at itsupport@bhsbaltimore.org. Thank you so much and have a good day.